We're really privileged this afternoon to have Te Mairiki Williams with us this afternoon, who is going to share some of who he is. And I've just taken off my little label things here, and you will see what we are actually wearing here, and it's pretty amazing. And give thanks to Te Mairiki for this. So from Aotearoa, Southern Alps, and the awa that come from that, and into the Canterbury Plains. So here we stand today. So please welcome Te Mairiki Williams. Thank you very much. Kia ora.
Ana e tuna mai o kateraki ki te hapu o muru ai ofata. E rana te pāti ki te tohu ana ki te tangata, te tohu ranga tikatanga ki te iwi. I mai te hau tāwhire, whakapuana ngā hauhoka, i ngā pāki i whakatikateka waitahani ki he rana. I ake rā te tātou, tātou rā, ngā karangaranga maa, Tāke rā mai rā koutou rā i nā waka tipua, waka wairua. Tāke a mai rā i tāwhiti rui, tāwhiti ro, tāwhiti pāmamo. Pui a mai rā i rā waka ranga tika ki tēne o tāte me koto. Nō reira, i koto i ara tēnei i nā tānato iti. Nō reira tēnā mo koto. Tongo iro te maua, tai pōrea te roto. Te tuwhare tō te iwi te awa te waka kiri te tangata, nā ki i koina te hapu i he tāma tō tēnei tau. Ka rere te rā, te wairua mai tomo riro ki te kāhui manga rōpe. E rea te rā ki tāra rua whakawhiki mai rā te manga aukawa, te kua romo o auraki. Nā te tuwhare tō, ka te raunga pāru, nā te hau te ki rāta, te rāta mate no tūhono, ia kahunu te kakatū waka. Kaitaro whānui, tāti māmori, waitaro whinei nui tāo o tēnei kuia. Arako nā ki kutsa tēnei. Tēnei bit, o tuko tia, tēnei waroe, ki te waka awa. Privileged to be here and come to share kōrero Waka ora tangata Robbie, i te whānei hei. E ria ke rā ke koutou rā i ngā koitaki, koutou rā i manāki nei o tātou nei whānau, i ngā whānau i te mamaitanga, te māunutanga, to our listeners, te ria ke rā. Wai te tini me te manu i tatu mai rā, ki he rā ko oranga ko tātou nei whānau, ko te rā mana wai, te mana rangatira, a tūtuku manu o te whānau. Kuri ake rā kia koutou i ngā kāhui kou mātua, aua mā, koutou rā i ngā mātua, kunei rangatira, pukākua te pai, te ukituri. The kuro ministry will do this. It's about us. So, what I'm going to do is share some of the voting that we implement with our whānau when we walk the mutu from our little wee walking down there in Waitaha, Tutuka, Mairiki. So, this is my start. What I want you to do, tēnei tētai ngā maua te tukupane. The energy of traditional practices, one of the many that we share amongst our people. So, it's going to pass it around. Pass it around, road to road, run on to the kilometre, and then down here. Give it a run, take some energy with you. This kōhatu here, this toka here, has come from the realms of Aotearoa. And the korowai that you see on it depicts the elements of well-being for our people. And in traditional practices, and I know that two of our kui up here in Ngāpui are pono to these means of well-being. One of them's in her early 90s, the other one's in her late 80s, but if you have a look at them, you would swear they were probably around about in their late 60s, 70 years old. That's their main means of well-being, the tuka, kohati. And the practices that we share with our people, putting the korowai on our tuka, on our kohatu, as a means of well-being, so that our tauira and our whānau can take these tonga, one of the many tonga that we share with our people, home to their whānau to enhance the mauri and the energy within the whare that they live, and any other journeys that they may take in their life to work, i rā te momo me. But the kōrero tūtoka tuariki, you'll see the epitome, some of it up here, on our tohu. Tūtoka tuariki, ko te whakamārama, ana tupuna, the tuka, and we all have our own maunga, which provides the korowai for us. Te tihi o te maunga, ara ko te tuka tērā. The peak of our maunga, koe rā te tuka. Our karau have always said, the energy and the kōrero that you share with your people in relation to whakapapa comes from that tuka. And then, in the realms of Māoridom, that tuka is our ariki. All our kōrero and our knowledge that we share with our people comes from that tuka. So koe rā te whakamārama tūtoka, tuariki, the realm of well-being for us. But the journeys that we share with a lot of our people, mainly for our men, but we take nothing away from our taiohi, our mokopuna, our tama, and also our wahine, are along the lines of tūtoka tuariki, and we specifically deliver traditional practices. Under the korowai, aukati, smoke, alcohol, drug, violent free, all on the one waka. There's no separate wahanga for each one of those. So we deliver it in many forms of mahi toi, rāranga, mahinga kai, rongoa, and traditional weaponry. Our wāna that we have down in Waitaha number from about 8 to maybe a dozen a year. And we've just received fund support to help facilitate and run our wānanga after 25 years. After 25 years, we've facilitated those wānanga for that amount of years with our own whānau, compensating for the cost of it. Just to start our kōrero off, the reason why we deliver in traditional practices, a lot of this is probably one of the more prominent questions that come our way. Many years ago, when our tupuna sailed on their waka from the homeland, Tawhiti, and they paddled their waka, they spent about probably 1 or 2 months out on the moana on a diet of fish. They arrived here, and they lived from the moana, from the seas, to the ngahere, to the realm of tāne, to the whenua. They lived a prolonged life to the late 90s, sometimes, some of them, 100 years plus. However, in reality today, between the ages of 48 to 52, our Māori men are 6 foot underground. Where did we lose 40 or 50 years? And the kōrero of our kaumātua, we've moved too far away from our traditional practices. Too far from our traditional practices. And a lot of that is illustrated today, in reality, when our mokopuna, our tamariki, and our rangatahi, and even our Pākeke, are exposed in media, mainstream media, Māori media, and particularly our mokopuna when they say in media form, TV on the newspaper, I don't know who my father is, because he died before I was born. Or I don't know who my father is, because I haven't seen him for that long, since I was 2 months old and he left my mother. That's reality for a lot of our men in that today. How do we address a lot of those? We ask the questions to our men, me pehe te oranga o te whānau. So if you have a look at those, I believe we've all got some handouts, have you? Mana ora, mana toa. I think it might be in your little kete that you have. Have you seen this? You'll find it in the seat pocket and seat in front of you. This is the one we're referring to. Mana ora, mana toa. Ka pai? Mana ora, mana toa, the epitome and mana of the humble warrior. In humility, we can live to 100 years plus, no problem. It's just finding a way and how we get about that. And particularly the role for our men that we deliver a large proportion of our mahi, me pehe te tapu o te tāne. Tutuka tuariki, we do a lot of work in the community, in the schools, in the prisons, down into Waipounamu, probation, and also youth justice. And we carry the same korowai aukati into all of those work environments, but in particularly addressing a lot of the issues and bringing our men back to being Māori. So all our wānanga that we run in those different types of environments, we always ensure that our people come along for the right reasons, and the most important thing is, let's come along and celebrate who we are in its most purest and practical form. And what we mean by purest and practical form is that our tupuna have already laid the whāriki where they've lived to 100 years plus. When we follow in those traditions of living in most purest and practical form, we could prolong and sustain life to that age also. Don't be a statistic that goes 6 foot underground between the ages of 48 to 52. For our tāne, when we ask the question, what is the meaning in that, in your whakaaro, me pehe te oranga o te whānau, how do we see the well-being of our whānau? You'll get quite a number of wide range of answers, going out there to work and bringing home, kai and that, ka tika. But where do we see it in the traditional world of those taonga that our tupuna have handed down, and what they would really want to see in us today? You saw it this morning, probably in its purest form, in the kōrero. When the karaua says to you, tama, come and sit beside me on the pai. He's not going to tell you why. You're going to sit there probably for about 4 or 5 weeks, maybe 4 or 5 months, maybe 4 or 5 years. And after that time, he may say to you after 4 or 5 years, tama, a manuhiri have arrived. You will do the whakatau, the kōrero, and welcome them. But what he's actually saying is that I hope you've been listening the last 4 or 5 years,
Because if you get it wrong, look out. Hey, that's the pinnacle of well-being. Why? Because the role of our men today is ensure that that whakapapa is tika. No compromise, no watered down versions. So the tama will get up and share that whakapapa, the same as the karaua, and not a word or letter missing. Exactly the same. However, by him sitting there, that's where the mana of his whānau, hapu, iwi, and Māori them is overall. There's more mana in that than what there is in John Keys and his brothers Monkey and Donkey will ever have. There's more mana in that than what the most powerfulest man in the world, Barack Obama, and our whānau over there will ever have. The pinnacle of well-being for us in Te Ao Māori, and the most sacred taonga that we have, is whakapapa. Knowing who we are. So the role of our men is to ensure that that whakapapa is tika. And the karaua, he will pick you out to sit there because he knows that you'll be a kaitiaki and a guardian for that. He's probably got about 10,000 others that he could choose from, but he's chosen you. So, yeah, make it work, so to speak. That's the biggest honour in Māoridom for our men. And we need to ensure that we know what those responsibilities in that are. When you can fulfil that role, then you'll know what the role of our men, being fathers, sons, or grandfathers, whatever it may be, is still the same. Once you can fulfil that role and give it the dignity, respect, and mana deserving of it, then you'll know what the role of our men is today. No problem. So, yeah, I'll share a little bit of, maybe get a few laughs out of us, eh? We look quite serious sitting there. We do a lot of work in the prisons. And we have our units and our whānau that come down to the whare, share a lot of the koro, what the kaupapa is about, do our introductions, you know, who we are, where we're from. And normally, one of the three of us who deliver to them, our first introduction kōrero to our men is, so when is your next kōpē change? Sorry, what was that, Mata? When is your next kōpē change? They say, we don't wear kōpē matua. We say, in reality, how many of you are fathers? Put your hands up. Hands up like this. Okay. In reality, your tamariki and your mokopuna, they can piss and shit at will. You can't. You have to ask. To back that up, you could probably share with them, who else do you see here, besides us, who's wearing different clothes, coloured clothes than what we're wearing? I'll give you a hint. It's got a chain with some keys on the end of it that sits in his pocket. Oh, it's the office over there, Mata. That's right. When we talk about us being grown men, I don't think so. He's here to babysit and look after you. And the choice that you made, he gets paid well. Not only does he get paid well, he probably thinks when he's had enough of you, he gets hoha with you, he'll probably go over and lay in the sun over in the islands there for 3 weeks, and then after that, spend another 2 weeks in Aussie, then come home. And you're still here. But when he gets back, he gets a big fat pay packet for being away from you. And with that pay packet, what's worse than that, he'll go away and buy some kai to put on the table for his children and his mokopuna. What about yours? Feel stink now? And that's the reality talk to a lot of our whānau in that environment. However, it differs from the other environments such as working in probation and in youth justice And we don't take any of that into the schools that we go into. But what I want you to do, no, stay there. Okay. Right hand. Somebody. These are traditional games, same as the one we had this morning. Okay, left hand, like this, not like that, just a finger. Okay? So you have the finger, left finger, right thumb. Okay? So put it in front of you. Put it in front of you. Yeah. Put it in front of you. Okay. On the command, tukua. Okay? And they you go like this. Tukua, 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 tukua. Okay? Here we go. Here we go. Let's try it. Let's try it. Okay? If you're good at this, you'll be sitting on the pie tomorrow, Tanima. Okay? All right? Okay, here we go. Right thumb, left finger. Tukua. All right? Hey, tukua. Well, these are the two hands that Peo does waka from the homeland to here. Kakaha. Yeah, here we go. Tukua. Yeah. Yeah. Tukua. Okay, we'll make it a little bit easier. Hey, who's having problems? I don't believe you. There's no such thing in Māoridom as you can't. Okay? There's no such thing in Māoridom as you can't. Okay, we'll make it a little bit easier. On the kōrero, katai, pēnei te mahi. Katai. Kabai? I only saw 3 or 4 hands go up. So I thought, oh, well, ka pai. We're in the right, the Māori's there. Eh? Where's our Māori at present? How is he? How is she, sorry? Is our Māori, how's our Māori? How's our kuhatu? All right? Okay, here we go. Left thumb, right finger. On katahi. Okay. All Here we go. Here we go. Katahi. Hey, hey. Hey, how come you're different than me? When we know about this, then we can do more of that. Hey, hoi anō. Whakapapa. Just getting back to whakapapa. The epitome and the most sacred taonga that Māoridom for us is whakapapa. Whakapapa. And for our men, once again back to the environment, which are not good environments for our people to live in. The important thing for our people, and particularly our men on the pai, when we're given that honour and that tohu, that mana, for our marae, our whānau hapuaniwi, is to make sure that the most sacred part on our body is clear. Tēnei. Ko watia. So, there are a lot of ngangara that are out there that actually challenge the most sacred part on our body. They challenge it. So in sharing that kōrero with our men, you want to be the epitome of your whānau hapuaniwi, make sure this is clear. You'll not only prolong and sustain life and meet the dreams of your tupuna by living to 100 years old, where you can see your own tamariki and your mokopuna and your great mokopuna, but you'll also be able to set example as a good role model and mentor for the generations after you. Mō kauria muri ake nei. So, in saying that we need to keep ourselves in the clear here, pēnei te koro, smoke, alcohol, drug, violent free, prolong life, like our tupuna did. Sometimes the response will be, oh, mata, I can't come to the wānanga because I'm going to be smoke-free without a smoke for 5 days. How am I going to overcome that? What would be our response? What would be your response to that? To some of our people coming to our wānanga, especially our taiaha wānanga, which are smoke, alcohol, drug, violent free. And our men think they're not ready to come to wānanga, but their well-being's up to the level that it needs to be, they'll come to wānanga. However, if we promote the terms of whakapapa in that kōrero, pēnei te kōrero. E tama, and correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember in all the kōrero that I've heard from our kaumātua on the pai that we whakapapa to those 4 ngangara, smoke, alcohol, drug, violent free. Correct me if I'm wrong if you've heard it, and share it with me, please. I can't remember them being on that waka when our tupuna sailed over. However, when our men get an understanding of that, you will see a different outlook in how they present themselves at wānanga. And the kaupapa that we deliver in Waitaha. And before I carry on, I heard a lot of beautiful voices here today singing beautiful waiata. 2015, the matatini will be in Waitaha. See you all there. Yeah? See you all there. In 2015, I hope to hear those same beautiful voices down there. But we are certainly honoured and been asked by the iwi down there, been given the mandate to spearhead the pōhiri with our maurako whānau. And that's been one of the platforms of wellbeing for our men that we work with in the prisons, in probation, in the schools, youth justice, right across the rohe whānui down there. Come along to wānanga. You want to be on the world stage? Let's prepare now. No ifs or buts, no compromise, no watered down visions. It is hoped that we can probably have a wānanga in Hagley Park where they're having te matatini, and we'd move down the other end of Hagley Park and probably set up a wānanga 2 weeks beforehand, prepare ourselves when te matatini arrives. Te mai tuakana and that down there at Tuahiwi Marae. The kōrero is that they want 5,000 of our men down there, smoke, alcohol, drug, violent free. Why? Tohu oranga ki te ao whānui. A message of well-being to the world. No, we're not a statistic. We are who we are in our most purest and practical form. Here we are. Any pātai so far? How? Okay. Whakapapa is about inclusiveness. It's about inclusiveness. So when we have the tupuna here, and then we have 10 to 20,000 underneath them, there's the inclusiveness there, and its purest form. A prime example with our men in the whānau, in the hinaki and the wharehere and in probation and in youth justice. When we talk about the sad reasons and that why they're probably in there, and if you ask our men in the wharehere, how many of you can say that the reason why you're in this environment, which is not a good environment for us in healing and well-being in Te Ao Māori, however, how many of you can say that the reason why you're here was based on a whānau decision? Put your hands up. And they're like this, waiting for the other guy to put their hands up. And at the end of it, no hands go up at all. So what does that tell us? The last thing on their mind is the well-being of their whānau. So when we talk about inclusiveness, right, let's get off the I and the me waka and get on the we and the us. On the we and the us. No hands go up. It's sad, but we try and share a lot of that traditional koro with our men, and we need to step up to the mark. We need to know what accountability is. We can't do a lot with our whānau in this environment. And when our men come to a wānanga and our 9-star marae out there at Taumatu on the southern shores of Te Waihora, Te Roto o Waihora, which is Lake Ellesmere, we have our 9-star marae there. We sleep under the rākau. And when you want to kai, make sure you get enough wood and pine cones to light the fire. Otherwise you won't get kai. And the same rākau and pine cones you put on the fire, we're going to cross onto the 2 coppers that are there. 1 copper is to heat the hot water for your cup of tea and your coffee, and another copper there is to heat the hot water to wash your dishes in an old concrete tub. And you go and do your mahi, and at the end of it, if you're hot and tired and looking for a good shower, spa, sauna, pick your towel up and you go jump into the creek down the road. The same creek where those tuna and that are. But by the time night time comes, rama tuna, we teach our men to go down there. Pepe he te tikanga rā mahinga kai. And we've been asked by a lot of our tauas and our mothers, when all our girls and our get an opportunity, it'll be coming before te matatini. The well-being on our mokopuna when they come to wānanga, such times as before Easter, before Christmas, and Mairiki. We do a variation on our wānanga. We no longer have traditional weaponry, maupatu and mautaia for the 5 days. We have a half a day each day, weaponry. The rest of the day is split up into different wahanga. We have wahanga toi, you see with the kohati being passed around. Rāranga, where tamariki and our mokopuna take time to make their own raro, and their kohati to take home as a gift, a taonga for Christmas and Matariki. And the third wahanga, they all go down to the moana and they learn the contents of mahinga kai, where they lay the flounder net or set the flounder net, and they go down to the other part of the creek and they put their hinaki down so that when the next morning comes they can pick up their tuna, take it back. We show them how to pāwhara and their pātiki, and by the next day, tea time, they'll be having fresh flounder and smoked tuna for pudding. If they get more than what we need for kai, then those overflow will go home with them for their kai, for Matariki, and also for Christmas. That's the only 2 times where we have a variation in our wānanga and well-being. So, e tu tatu, e tu. Okay, taki noho, e noho, aroa mai, e noho. If you're short like me, you won't go over the sea. So, have a seat, aroa mai. Hey, what we're going to do, okay, on the koero, whakaropi oi, you go, ai, okay? Whakaropi oi. Ooh, tia mai at the right wānanga whai. Whakaropi oi. Tahi me te homoi rā. Ka pai? Here we go. Whakaropi oi. Tahi me te homoi. Right. Me kōrero koutou katoa, homoi rā. Ka pai? Yeah. Here we go. Whakaropi oi. Tahi me te homoi. Right. Te mata no. Rua me te homai, homai, homai rā. Ka pai? And we'll go to toru, homai, homai, homai rā. Ka pai? Timata mai, whakari. Whakaropi, ropi ai. Tohi me te homai, homai rā. Rua me te homai, homai, homai rā. Toru me te homai. Pā me te homai. Homai rā. Okay? Rima me te homai. Tai? Ono me te homai. Te re. Ka pai? So, tahi, rua, toru, pā, rima, ono. Ka pai? Yeah? Okay, here we go. Whakaropi, ropi oi. Tohi me te homai. Rua me te homai. Toru me te homai. Pā me te homai. Rima me te homai. Ono me te homai. Okay, stay there. Okay. Ono, whitu. Hey, you know what waru is, eh? You know what waru is, eh? You know what waru is? Okay. So here we have ono, whitu, waru. Ka pai? Yeah? Ono, whitu, waru. Ka pai? Here we go. Whakaropi, ropi oi. Tohi me te homai, homai rā. Rua me te homai, homai, homai rā. Whitu me te homai, 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 homai rā. Pā me te homai, 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 homai rā. Rima me te homai, 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 homai rā. Ono me te homai, 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 homai rā. Whitu me te homai, 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 homai rā. Waru me te homai. Homai rā. So stay there. Okay. Iwa. Yeah. Right over left. To go is homai rā. Okay? So, waru, iwa, te kau, homai rā. Ka pai? Yep, here we go. Whakaropi, ropi oi. Tohi me te homai, homai rā. Rua me te homai. Toru me te homai. Pā me te homai. Rima me te homai. Ono me te homai. Whitu me te homai. Waru me te homai. Iwa me te homai. Te kau me te homai. So stay there, and then we go, te kau me te homai, homai rā. Iwa me te homai, homai, homai rā. Waru me te homai, homai, homai. I haven't finished yet. Oh. Ko rā tētai atu nā kimu tawhito. So, when you want your tamariki and your mokopuna and those clientele that you work with, koina. Hey. So, just harking back on that kōrero inclusive and exclusive, it's important. Okay, if we get too far to one side, okay, we end up getting into the exclusive club. Exclusiveness with killer culture. It's been proven worldwide. Okay? So when we make decisions and choices, right, he whakaaro kotahi, me pēhea. Is it for the well-being of me, or is it for the well-being of me and my whānau? Ko rā te pātai nui. If we look at me and my whānau, tūturu. Tūturu. It has an impact on us. Those four ngangara, smoke, alcohol, drug, violent, free. The worst thing is when we make a decision like that, automatically makes that fellow over there rich. Momo. And as he gets richer, we spend more money on it and get poorer. And not only do we get poorer, but we probably take about 10, 20, sometimes 30 years off our life. Off our life. They make that fellow from here or over the other side of the world richer by implementing those ngangara to us. In the words of our kaumata, we are humble people. We are rangatire in our own right. However, until such time as you know the accountability and responsibility involved in sitting on the pai next to your karaua, till you know what that pertains, you have no right. You have no right. So the humility goes with how can we prolong and sustain life. So ko rā te kōrero o nehera. If we can't maintain those principles and those practices, then we shouldn't be sitting there. Once we sit there, you know, we can wear the korowai of our old people. Speaking of the korowai, everyone probably has their own whakaaro. My tūpuna up there in Tūwhare Toa and Te Haunui, when they greet whānau, mihi, hariru, hongi, pēnei te koro, the hand goes on the shoulder. Ask the karaua that, his reply is, the korowai, aukati that you wear, is a symbol of your old people. Those feathers on that korowai are your whakapapa. Make sure you know every single feather that's on there. The korowai that you wear sits on the shoulder. Kānohi ki te kānohi, rangatira ki te rangatira. Ko rā te tā tēnei oronga. What's worse, he said, this here was given to us 180 years ago, and it's never done us any good. The handshake or whatever it was. But everyone has their own kōrero about it. However, tika rā te kōrero. It arrived 180 years plus, and we accepted it. But really, in reality, it's affected our own well-being for the last 180 years. So the korowai that we wear, we all have the visible korowai on us, is the korowai of our old people. We just need to ensure that we give it the dignity and humility and respect deserving of it. Because in reality, when we go to wānanga such as this, or taiha wānanga, whatever it may be, rāranga, realistically, we come away from wānanga, we feel really good about ourselves. However, in reality, we can only feel good for so long. Because after a certain period of time, not all of us, but after a certain period of time, some of our people will momentarily take the korowai off, put it to the side, go over here to the exclusive club and grab the coat and put it on. This is a reality for a lot of our people. As soon as we do that, we expose the well-being of our people. So to maintain the principles of prolonging and sustaining life, keep the korowai on. give it the dignity deserving of it. We shouldn't compromise those practices that have been handed down, because if it happens, in reality, you probably have another hui here, same kaupapa, 30 or 40 years' time, but you'll probably have representatives going like this. Once upon a time, Māori hei tikanga and kaua to protect their well-being. Now we only read it in the book and see it on a DVD. That'll be a sad day. Very sad day. So, the korowai aukati, or the korowai well-being that we have from our old people is important. Tikanga and kaua is paramount. We live by those principles to prolong and sustain well-being for us 24/7. 24/7. Tikanga is the epitome of our well-being. If you have a look at the kōrero there, up the top, au koe, and then underneath iwi, hapu and whānau, another model of whakamana. And that the principle of that small diagram is that the whānau will be the first to whakamana one of their own. Then the hapu, then the iwi, they will put you up there on that pinnacle, on that taumata. Particularly for a lot of our men, we get a little bit mawiwi and lack the understanding of that kōrero, and we at times whakamana ourselves. Oh. We lose focus of those pathways of well-being. In reality, we certainly need to embrace more of those traditional practices for our own well-being. And a lot of it falls under the terms of tikanga. If you have a look there, promoting humility and humbleness. If we, at times, fall off that process of humility and humbleness, we open ourselves in that up. We open ourselves up, and as we open ourselves up to such examples as that, we straight away put a limit on prolonging life for us. Prolonging life for us. Koraka he mea whakahihi, tēnei, he mea whakaiti. When our wānanga are held and we have our young men come to wānanga, first kōrero, leave your lollies at home. Come to wānanga to celebrate who we are in its purest form. Our kaioko and our kaupapa are all pono, smoke, alcohol, drug, violence free. The epitome, say for that small diagram that you see in there, aukui up the top, is the pinnacle for our men, is to ensure that they reach that taumata, and for that kaupapa, when you go out there as the face of your iwi with that korowai, doing the challenge, the whittle, you carry the responsibility of all those who whakapapa to you on your shoulders. For that to happen, once again, our men want to go out and do that, the epitome of wellbeing, make sure you're smoke, alcohol, drug, violence free, 24/7. So, those short little things like this and like that help a lot of our men overcome this process. Oia no, ko te kōrero. Aroha mai. Wairanga te they've said, hurry up, finish. So, if you have any questions, kōrero mai. Kia ora whai.
Really mine's just an acknowledgement to you as a tāne, as a leader for our men. I have many wānau who are lost, and not many of our men are standing up. So it's really just the mihi te iu. Kia ora.
Kia ora. Whātai anō. Tēnā koe koe. Ai. Kei rungora, kei Wanganui, e mau ana tana pōtai. Maunga in the middle, up the top, is Aoraki. To the side of him, you will see his three brothers, Raki, Rāraki, and Raki Ro. They form the whāriki for the Southern Alps. So, where you see the pōtai, where te tuka tuariki, where the kōrero comes from. And we all have our maunga, where that same kōrero comes from. Te pēpera, te pōtiki, ruamuku. In his unborn form, he has certainly made that booze of āhua wiri wiri down in Waita, 2010, 2011, and also recently here in Whanganui Atara. This is Ruamuku. These parts here, koe rā te tangi, a Ruamuku I tana whaia. This middle here, acknowledgement to the well-being of our people down in Waita, Pākihi Whakatikateka o Waita, which is the Canterbury Plains. Prior to the arrival of our European whānau, those were the Pātaka. And people lived and prolonged life from that area. It's been badly affected by the rūwhenua. These green symbols symbolise the cracks that have come in and put our Pātaka at risk, the food stores. They were our people to live and prolong and sustain life. These shu tohu here, how do we overcome the mamai of Ruamuku? Dignity, respect, and humility for one another. So those three tohu there are in their purest form, tu mana, tu tika, tu rangatira. Nō reira, tēnei mihi tangi. E nei ana roimata e heke mai rā me te hupe I tō tā tēnei whānau I hinga mai rā I te hā o te rūwhenua. Reira koutou rā I hoki atu rā ki nā ukaipō ki o tai wiwi, I o tai wawa, ka maumahara tone. Reira hoki mai rā ke tatu. I te whai au ki te Aotearoa, tēnā no tatu. E kōrero anō. All our mothers and hoku nei tuakana, you're here, Labour weekend, we have a wānanga down in Otautahi. Waita, hara mai.
Kōrero see Tauriri employers, how's your kōrero that you just gave us, how's that received by Tauriri employers?
A lot of the, I suppose, tauiwi, especially in the mainstream sector, who we share a lot of that kōrero with, they're quite acceptive of it, and they certainly try and get a good understanding of it. Once they've got a good understanding of it, some of them actually come to the kaupapa to see how their clientele and to see it, in its most purest form themselves. There's certainly no negative response from tauiwi people out there in the mainstream sector or even in the rohe. Sorry? Well, our wānanga, I suppose for our wānanga, they're open for anyone. We had a wānanga in Easter, and this tauira here arrived halfway during the night. We just finished our kōrero about 11:30 at night, and he said he had hitchhiked from Wanaka to the wānanga, and I mean our marae's in sort of like in the wops in the back roads, but he managed to get there, and he was from France. Yeah, he was on a working holiday. He was from France. So we've had a lot of the whānau mai tāwahi from the other side of the world that study at Lincoln University, which is just down the road from us, and they bike to Runanga. It's about 30 or 40k. Passionate. But we say to them when they arrive on their bike, you sure you ain't got any Māori in you? A long way to bike. So, tēnā no tātou te whānau. Oh, the Māori, where's our Māori? Our kōhatu, is she around? That Māori will be here and stay with the kaupapa in ngā wā katoa.
Kia ora, te Mairiki. As we live in humility and in humbleness, we can live for 100 years. And as we weave the thread that intertwines in our korowai, we take the life and the being and the spirit of our tipuna, and how most sacred and most valuable must we wear that as we move in health and well-being in Aotearoa. The most sacred taonga is our whakapapa. Kia ora, te Mairiki. tākano, Aotearoa, kia tuku ake, e roto nei i toku manawa, au e te matua. Au e te matua.
Aroha mai rā mihi ake rā ki ngā ringa raupa. Koutou rā i manaki nei me whakaki te puku i ngā wā katoa. Huri no ki tā tātai nei rangatira matua rino. I tatu mai rā e waimi i ngā te tapu ana koro. O reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā no tatu.